Okay, we're starting a brand new cycle, 3.1, Pythagorean Theorem. So this is going to be part of our geometry cycle. And so we're going to be studying things like triangles. In particular, we're going to be looking at right-angled triangles. So hopefully you remember this from elementary school. But in case you need a refresher, right-angled triangle is a triangle with a 90-degree angle. So down here there's a picture, a couple of pictures of triangles here. This picture of a triangle has a 90-degree angle, and I use this little symbol here in the corner to indicate that this is a 90-degree angle. Now, there's something in this right-angled triangle called a hypotenuse. Okay, and the hypotenuse of a right-angled triangle can be found in two ways. The first way, well, it's the longest side of the triangle. Okay, and that's this side right here. This visually looks like the longest side of the triangle. The second way is that it's the side that is opposite to the 90-degree angle. Okay, so if you see this 90-degree angle here, we're looking at the opposite side, the side that's opposite. So this side here is always going to be the hypotenuse because it is opposite of the 90-degree angle. These other two sides, they're not opposite, right? They are touching. They're right beside this angle, right? So it has to be the opposite side. Now, there's a special relationship, a special formula that relates the three sides of a right-angled triangle. And that relationship is called the Pythagorean theorem, or sometimes we call it the sum of squares. It says that if you take three sides and you label all three sides A, B, and C, the relationship is that A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. Okay. Visually, what does that mean? Well, I look at this picture here. The length of this side of the triangle is A, and if you take A squared, that's just like saying the area of a square. If I made a square where all four sides of the square is the same as the length of this side of the triangle, then I have A over here and A over here. And the area of the square is A squared. Same thing for B. If I made a square around B, making all four sides the same length as this side of the triangle, then the area of this is going to be B squared. Right? So here I have A squared, I have B squared, and the area of this side here, same idea, will be C squared. And it turns out that if I add the area of A squared and B squared, I will get C squared. Okay. So the Pythagorean theorem states that for a right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of each side. Okay, so how do we solve problems? Well, there's some series of steps you could follow. Step one, label each side. So C we're always going to label as the hypotenuse. Okay, so this C over here is always by itself. It's the hypotenuse. It doesn't matter which side that you assign A or B. So this could have been A or B, or it could have been A over here and B on the left. It doesn't matter how you assign these two letters. Then you substitute values into the Pythagorean theorem, or the equation, or the formula. And you usually have to find either one of A or B or C. Okay, then you have to rearrange the equation to isolate that unknown variable, the one that you're looking for, and then solve. Okay, so let's we'll use this formula on some problems here. So here's my first picture. By the way, this should be 8 meters down here, and this is 12 meters over here. Okay, and this is side C, the hypotenuse. Okay, so if I apply the Pythagorean theorem, let's say I made A equals 12, B equals 8. I could say that 12 squared plus 8 squared equals C squared. Okay, and then my goal will now be to find that side C. Okay, so if I did 12 squared plus 8 squared, well, here's 144 plus 64, and that equals C squared. 144 plus 64 is 208, and that's equal to C squared. Now, if I want to find C, you have to do this reverse operation. What's the opposite of a square? Well, it turns out the square root is the opposite of a square. So if I took the square root of both sides, the square root of 208 and the square root of C squared, make sure you draw your square roots to cover all the numbers that you're square rooting. And so the square root of something that's squared is just going to result in a C, and the square root of 208 is going to give you my answer. So my answer here is going to be 14.4, and my units are in meters. So 14.4 meters is equal to my hypotenuse C. Okay, or I can write it this way: C equals 14.4 meters. So what happens if the unknown side we're looking for is not the hypotenuse? So notice here, here's another triangle. The hypotenuse is over here. It's the opposite of the 90-degree angle. But what we're looking for is this side here, x. Okay. So if you don't want to use x, you can use a. Doesn't matter. Okay. So if I will say here a squared plus 10 squared equals my hypotenuse squared, c squared. So this is going to be c, and this is going to be side b. So it's 25, not 25, but 25 squared, right? C squared. And remember, now the goal is to isolate a. So first I can simplify some things here. So a squared, 10 squared is 100, so plus 100. And 25 squared is 625. If I subtract 100 from both sides, like we're solving an equation now, so solve for it. So a squared equals 525. Now that's a squared. If I want to find a, I have to take the square root. So a is going to be the square root of 525. And so a is going to be 22.9 centimeters. Okay, or if I ask for x specifically, then just say x is equal to 22.9 centimeters. Okay. Alternatively, yes, I could use x in my equation. So I could just set x squared plus 10 squared equals 25 squared and still do the same thing. Okay, now some more trickier problems. Determine the side lengths of the following triangle. So again, where's my hypotenuse? Where's my 90-degree angle? The 90-degree angle, even if it's not labeled, it's the L-shaped angle. So this is the L-shaped, it's the 90-degree angle. And my opposite side is 15, so this is going to be C. Okay. So the sum of these two sides, the squares of these two sides, have to equal to the hypotenuse squared. Okay, so x squared plus 3x squared equals 15 squared. Okay, and this is why I put it in brackets. So if I have x squared, if I remove the brackets, I have x squared. And the next term, 3x squared, don't forget you have to multiply that 3 with another 3. So it's going to be 3, this is going to be 3 squared and x squared. So this should be 3 squared is 9, and then x squared equals 15 squared is 15 times 15, which is 225. Okay. Now I have two like terms on the left side. Add the coefficients. Remember, there's an invisible 1 here. So this should be 10x squared and if my goal now is to solve for x, I have to isolate for x, so it would help if I divide both sides by 10. So these two cancel, and I'm left with x squared equal 225 divided by 10. I'll write this as a decimal, 222.5. And then if I want to find x, I got to take the square root. The square root of 22.5, which is 4.74. Number 3, determine the perimeter of the following shape. So here I have 6 centimeters on this side. Should move it up a little bit. 10 centimeters, 4 centimeters. Okay, so where's the Pythagorean theorem going to be used here? Well, there's a triangle You might see there's a triangle here, a right angle triangle that I can create by cutting the big triangle in half, right? So I'm just going to take that piece of the triangle out, okay? And I need to find this side here, the hypotenuse x, and I know that this side is 4 centimeters. My 90-degree angle is over here. What's this side going to be? Well, it's going to be half of 6, right? This is just half of the entire length. So this is half of 6, which is going to be 3. So 3 centimeters. So that means if I want to find x, I've got to take 3 squared and 4 squared and add them together. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals x squared. Okay. 9 plus 16 equals x squared. 25 equals x squared. And the square root of 25 is equal to x. Okay, so the square root of 25 is going to equal to x. So x is equal to 5. Okay, so if I know now x is equal to 5, I know this side is going to be equal to 5 because they are the same, indicated by these tick marks. So then the entire perimeter, remember we're looking for perimeter, P is equal to 6, side over here, plus the 10 up here, plus the 10 down here, plus the 5 and the 5. So plus 5 plus 5. So the perimeter is the entire path length around the shape. Okay, so I'm not including these 4s. The 4 is inside the shape. I already used the 4 to help me find that 5. So my perimeter is 6 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5, which is 36 centimeters. All right, let's try that one more time with a little bit more of a complicated shape. Determine the perimeter of the following shape. So again, where does the Pythagorean theorem come in? It's going to come in down here. We need this x value over here. We need the same corresponding x value over here. To do that, I need to create a triangle. Okay, so I have this cross-sectional triangle. Okay, now how do I know this is 4 centimeters? Well, it turns out if you have from this point to this point is 10 centimeters. And I know it's 10 centimeters because up here it's 10 centimeters, and the two lines connecting it are parallel. Okay, and this would be parallel with this line here. Okay, so we're going to look at some other theorems that examine this. But this is 10 centimeters. Okay, and if that's 10 centimeters, then and I know this part here is 6 centimeters, then what's left over has to be 4 centimeters. Okay, so again, we divided this triangle in two. So instead of 4 centimeters down here, I'm going to have 2 centimeters, and I have x up here. And what's missing now is this height. So this height is going to be 4 centimeters. Okay, and the reason why is because, again, if this side here, this entire side here is 8 centimeters. Okay, and notice the halfway point. This is 4 centimeters, and this is 4 centimeters. This halfway point corresponds to the top of the triangle, the tip of the triangle. Okay, so this portion here, this entire triangle goes up to the middle. Okay, so imagine there's a middle line, imaginary line going all the way down. It's going to be 4 centimeters. So using the Pythagorean theorem, I'm going to have 2 squared plus 4 squared, two sides here, equal to x squared, my hypotenuse. 2 squared is 4, 4 squared is 16, and 4 plus 16 is 20. Okay, and if I want x, I have to take the square root, so x is equal to the square root of 20, which is 4.47 centimeters. Okay, So that takes care of this side. So x equals 4.47. That takes care of this side, 4.47. I have the 3 centimeters here. I have the 3 over here, the 10 up here, 8 over here, 6 over here. All that's missing is this portion, the half a circle. Okay, so you might remember the formula for the diameter of a circle. Okay, and the diameter of a circle is pi times, sorry, not the diameter, I'm talking about circumference. The circumference of a circle, c, is equal to pi times the diameter. But if it's only half a circle, then I'm going to take the circumference is equal to pi times the radius. Okay, or you could say, or pi times the diameter divided by 2. It's only half the circle. So the radius of this is 4 centimeters. So I'm going to say circumference equals pi times 4. And the answer to that is 12.57. Now I have all the numbers I need. Oh, centimeters. I forgot my units. So now I have all the numbers I need to calculate my perimeter. So my perimeter is going to be, let's start off with the 12.57. Okay, and we're going to go down here next to the 4.47. I'm only counting the solid lines, not the dotted lines, just the solid lines. So 4.47 plus 4.47. Okay. Plus the 6 centimeters down here, plus the 8 centimeters over here, 3, 10, and 3. Okay, and my final answer will be 51.51 centimeters. That's the perimeter. And that ends our lesson.